history of R&B. A new episode every week on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Come and get the feeling on Star Time on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
On Rainier Avenue Radio.world, look for the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show. I'm Dennis Weaver, your good food guide and host, helping you to feel good and look good, and who wouldn't want some of that? All that and more from the Change Your Food, Change Your Life show on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Stories, songs, and guests. Begin living the organic good food life, and the rest of your life just may be the best of your life. Oh, what's up, baby? To your help.
Here's the bad news. You can catch the flu and COVID at the same time.
At the same time?
But the good news, you can get vaccinated against COVID and flu at the same time.
At the same time?
It's safe, convenient, and a wonderful way to protect yourself and everyone you care about. We're stronger when we're all protected. Visit vaccines.gov to find COVID and flu vaccines near you.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Well, hello there, world. Bettina Carey here, and I'm the founder and CEO of We Empower You, the global community, and WeEmpowerYourLife.com, the website. And we're here live on Rainier Avenue Radio, where we're going to help you to shatter glass ceilings with an S, as I say it, because glass ceilings are meant to be shattered, not just merely broken. And today's returning and outstanding guest has been invited back several times. You may recognize his name. It's none other than Master Nigel Henry. And I keep bringing him back because each and every time I get so much value out of his activation conversation methodology. So here's a little bit more about Master Nigel Henry. Since 1999, he has been developing and mastering performance activation tools, distinctions, and practices that are intended on unleashing the greatness of the extraordinary beings like me who are emerging, innovative, disruptive, highly gifted, high performance, highly sensitive, deep thinking, heart-centered, purpose-driven, entrepreneurial change angels. And as a fellow change angel, Master Nigel is responsible for the growth and expansion of the angel activation movement. That's the Change Angel Activation Movement, whose business mission is locating, assembling, and activating 144,000 tribe members like me who have a life calling for making massive, rapid, beneficial changes on the planet. Welcome back, Master Nigel Henry.
Welcome. Okay, I'm here.
You are here.
Yes.
We've got you live.
Yes, can you hear me? Can my signal?
Yes, we can totally hear you.
All right. I'm seeing myself, but I'm not seeing myself talking. There's a delay.
Yes, that's interesting. It's like you're frozen, but let's just keep the party going.
All right.
Alternatively, we may have you exit and come back in, but let's see if this doesn't work.
I think might be good because something weird is happening with my team.
Yes, I tell you what, while you go out and come back in, I'm going to share a little bit with folks about my experiences of working with you, Master Nigel Henry. So I met Master Nigel Henry earlier this summer, and we had about an hour and 20-minute phone conversation, at the end of which he asked me a very important question, and that was whether I was an angel here on earth, to which I replied an astounding, yes, I am. And I have believed since I was a child that I came onto the planet to do something extraordinary, purposeful, and life-altering for not only others, but perhaps even myself. And so it is with that passion and purpose that I have been moving around the planet for all of these years. I am celebrating next year my 64th birthday, and I am so excited to be as young as I am and as purpose-driven as I am. So what I needed to, or at least I felt needed activating, has been unearthed and uncovered in these conversations with Master Nigel Henry. And some of those things have to do with the language that I'm using in order to explore and explain my role here to bring together the We Empower You community and the We Empower You global summits that we do every quarter, and the weekly We Empower You meetings. And so I've been completely activated by Master Nigel Henry's role in my life, and I cannot thank him enough. It looks like you're trying to come back in here again, and we still don't have a visual for some reason, but can you hear me, Master Nigel?
Yes, I can hear you, and I can see myself. Can you see me?
I know we can't.
Well,
I tell you what, let's go ahead and bring up your website. Let me see if I can share that with Daniel in the background. Oh, there you go.
Can you see me now?
And it looks like your virtual background is giving us the issue for some reason. So let me bring.
On my side, it's very clean and clear.
Okay.
Everything. So maybe, do you want to go in and come out? I'm not sure if that's going to work.
No, I think I'm okay, actually. Let's go ahead and continue with the presentation. Otherwise, we'll run out of time. Yeah. And I will go ahead and share my screen with you with regard to your website as you're talking. So I just finished introducing you. You may not have heard that, and all the great value that I believe I'm getting from being in your midst, and I cannot wait for us to dive deep into our conversation. So today we had been talking about speaking about our goals, our wishes, and our dreams from the mountaintop. And instead of coming to the mountaintop, rising up and getting to. And what I was going to do was give you the driver's seat here for a moment. And I would be playing the role of many of the people that I meet in the world, not necessarily my own self, but others that I've met who are operating on a deactivated level or a downgraded version of themselves. So go ahead, and I've got the Human Greatness Activation website up so that can be in place since we can't see you. And then you can take over from here.
All righty. Well, I can see Bettina.
Oh, we can see you now. There we go.
Oh, so yeah, if I could see you, it'd be really helpful. There you go. Okay. I see you. All right. So in today's intro, it's the overall arching is that people are great, and they were built right in the first place. And the only thing that makes humans appear not to be great is the programming that we've received through our education, through our language, through our culture. And it's time to disrupt that and bring in a new paradigm that is designed. It's like when Apple downloads the operating system for their computer, the computer and the operating systems are matched. So human beings were designed to run on a higher mindset than the one we're running on. And once you install that mindset, we unleash and we do miracles and magic, and how it shows up is how much value we put out in the world and how much revenue we generate from sharing that value. So in today's session, we're going to demonstrate one small piece of that paradigm methodology called coming from the mountaintop. And I think Bettina is going to role play with great difficulty a normal person or a normal business person, because a business person is actually slightly more awake than your average show, because she's up to something. And then I'm going to model it. And anyone who'd like to experience it, we're going to be doing a 5-day financial miracle challenge at my greatnessactivation.com/empower, where we do this for 5 days. But this is a sample to give people an idea of what this paradigm is. So how do we start this? So normally, Bettina, it's the end of the year or the beginning of the new year, and people have this thing that they do called goal setting. And so I'm going to just pretend I'm just listening in to Bettina, sharing her. So I'm like, hey, Bettina, how is it going? What's your plans for next year?
Okay, well, here's my downgraded version of self, right? So, hey, Nigel, it is so great to meet you and to share with you my goals for next year. So, I've been working hard. I've been basically, working myself to the bone. And I have a goal that I am going to achieve next year by December sometime. I'm not sure exactly when, but maybe December, maybe June. It could happen as early as June. And I am literally going to work as hard as I possibly can to work just me, myself, and I to serve as many people as I can. I'm not even sure really how many people I'd be interested in serving, but you know what I mean. I mean, and all things are possible, right?
Yes. Now, as I'm listening, I hear the intent of her heart. So she intends to achieve some goals next year, and basically she's articulating a version of it. We call that like iPhone 1. And as I'm listening to it, it's full of what we call virus words that basically is guaranteed to shut down her cash flow at some point on her journey. It's vague, meaning we can't really measure it, and therefore she's hiding really because no one can tell whether she's hit her goal or not. And two, she's burdening herself with a lot of weight. I'm going to do this and that and that, and so it's like she's inadvertently doing that, and therefore she's going to be underperforming during 2022 based on that goal. The goal itself, just the way she articulated.
Yes, and might I add, I'm getting to this goal. I'm going to get there, come heck or high water, but I'm going to get there. Somehow I'm going to get the money. I'm going to go get the people that I think I'm going to serve.
Now,
and this getting is what I'm into.
Disrupt her because that she is modeling the go-getter. If you're watching this, type in something, because there's a lot of people who've been programmed that you got to be a go-getter. Okay, so that's the first thing I'd like to delete. In the higher paradigm, the activational paradigm, we delete the word get from your vocabulary straight away. So you're not here to go get anything. You're here to go give. You're a go-giver. Let me just pretend I'm talking to Bettina, the normal person. Bettina, who are you now?
I'm a go-giver.
Very good. The second thing is you might notice is that I'm asking her to speak. So she has to speak back to me, not me give her information. So that's the first two things. The next thing I would like to do to activate her greatness is to let her know that there's a thing called measurement. Whatever I measure, I will increase. And her goal needs to have a measurable component. So how many people do you intend to impact, Bettina? Give me a number.
Well, safely, I could say 1,000. If I really worked hard, maybe a little more than 1,000.
All right. So she's given me a number 1,000. And by when is it? The end of the year? What? This precise date?
Yeah, probably by the end of the year.
Now you heard the word probably and maybe. These are called virus words. So when you go to Greatness Activation System Power, I've given a free gift where you can start identifying these virus words and eliminate them. So we're going to eliminate them. And then she started by saying, we're going to get there. And when I get there, in the new paradigm, we do not go to our goals. We come from them. And we don't even call them goals. We call them declaration, or as Bettina and I like to agree on, we come from the mountaintop. So here's a visual for you. Imagine you're sitting at the destination and it's at the top of the mountain and you've already achieved it. And you know exactly how many people you've accomplished, you've impacted, you know the exact amount of money, and you know that it's the exact date. So all we do is declare. Oh, there's one more last thing. Bettina, who do you think you are? Regular Bettina.
Am I downgraded version?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just an ordinary woman, just doing my best to empower myself and others. How's that?
So normal. I understand. It's so normal. Okay. So normal people don't accomplish great things. All right. So we apply a distinction. Identity activates superpowers. Just repeat that, Bettina. My identity.
My identity activates superpowers.
My superpowers.
My
Okay?
superpowers.
Yes, just say it again, because you're going to need some superpowers to pull off your goals.
My identity activates superpowers.
So, from an earlier meeting, I discovered this so-called normal Bettina. At the core, she's a change angel. And a change angel is one of the highest identity that you can have while you're here embodied on Earth. So what we recommend is this format. As my identity, I intend to accomplish a measurable result by a certain time, and so it is. So with that said, Bettina, would you like to use that new formula, even though you think you're normal, but this, just saying it this way, will activate the greater version of you. Go ahead.
Bettina, the angel of connection, will empower 1,000 people around the globe by December 31 of 2022.
Now, do you hear how crystal much more clearer that is? And it can be clearer. So we call that, in my practice, we call it iPhone 4-ish. It's very good. It's better than iPhone 1. So we're going to polish it up and take it to another level. And we start the sentence with, as the angel of something, I intend to accomplish a precision number by a certain date. And that's it. And now we're getting into the declaration. The model that we're getting this from is Martin Luther King and JFK. And all these people declared something, just declared it, and then it happened. The nation came, rose up, and made it happen. So go ahead again.
As the angel of connection, I am impacting 1,000 lives around the globe, and so it is. Oh, I forgot something. By
Yes.
December 31 of 2022, and so it is.
iPhone 5.5, right?
Okay.
So what we do is just put the date in front of the number and see what happens. Let's go again.
As the angel of connection, I am empowering 1,000 lives by December 31st of 2022.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Now, notice that there is no conditions on it. If I get this, if everything works out, if there's election, if there's no condition. And now we just want to magnetize that declaration. This is very useful for any business person, leader, coach, anyone who has a calling to inspire others to greatness. You must, well, I wouldn't say must. When I speak a powerful vision, it activates everyone that's hearing it. Now, one way to take it to like iPhone like 10.5 is to sing it in Martin Luther King style. So just imagine that. Remember that I Have a Dream speech. That one speech, the way he delivered it, activated a movement in the United States and gave us civil rights and a lot of other things. So let's see how she does. Go ahead.
Let's see. As the angel of connection, I am empowering 1,000 lives by December 31st of 2022.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So let me see how I would do it. As the angel of connection, I declare that by December 31st, 2022, my organization will have impacted at least 1,000 people in my We Empower community. All those who are aligned with this vision, raise your hand and say I, or go to my website and click on the link and say, I'm supporting this vision. Do you feel the power in that?
Yes, definitely.
So the distinction is, without a vision, the people perish. In other words, people hear, it's called a talking head. Oh yeah, she's talking. And then with a powerful vision articulated with my voice from my core identity, core passion, that vision will go out into the interwebs and touch the people who are aligned with that vision and know that they're supposed to support Bettina, support that vision and make it happen, because the vision is not about Bettina. It's about the world that Bettina is called to serve. Does that make sense?
Totally, totally. Which brings me
Everyone,
to
yes,
another point that you make, and that is that the value that I'm bringing is what is called from my heart, and that is what I'm in service of. And so share a little bit about your distinction around the value that we bring, that I bring
yes.
to the world.
So at the core of every human being is a spiritual thing. So you've heard the phrase, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. In other words, there's a spirit in us that is encapsulated in this body and our minds. And what is happening, that's the life-giving thing. Well, it turns out that this thing that's called life is putting out something all the time, and it comes out through our mouth. And the name of the thing that this internal spiritual being is putting out is called value. What a woo! Isn't that great news? All that can come out of a human being is value. And what changes is how much of it comes out. And when I activate my identity, when I say change angel more, it's like you just apply a massive pipe to the source and it sprays out even more. And it comes out as words, services, products. But inside of whatever I put out is value. And this is what I think Bettina wanted you to hear, their audience, is that when value goes out of me, money comes into me. Value and money are actually moving opposite directions. Value goes out, money comes in. Now, if I'm a consumer, which I don't recommend, I recommend for people who are in the empower community that we become producers. In other words, produce value. When I'm producing value, money comes in. But if I'm a consumer of value, then money goes out. So this one thing, with this awareness, I declare a vision that says I shall be putting out massive amounts of value to X amount of people during 2021. And with that awareness of the value that I'm putting out, I could also predict the income I'm going to make. Notice I don't necessarily have to start my goal with revenue. I can start with number of people that I'm going to add value to. And there's no limit to that. Does that make sense, Tina?
That totally makes sense. And I love the fact that we are teaching, I guess activating really is more the appropriate word, this in me and in those who are watching and listening, and at our Wednesday meetings, which we have available to all for free to attend at the weempoweryourlife.com website. Click on the calendar tab. One of the other things I wanted us to explore in this particular session, though, was this idea that money is the root to all evil. And a lot of folks, and I probably was like this for many, many years, where I believed that, I needed to work just for a little bit of money, but not for too much, that I would need to work really hard for my money. And this whole conversation around needing of money, wanting of money. Can you give a context for that in the activation program?
Yes. From the activation perspective, money is basically reflecting or measuring value going out. That's all it is. It's a tool. It's like an agreed tool, like dollars or yens or whatever, for measuring how much value is being perceived, received. Just as looking at value, it's looking at measuring electricity, but we use money to measure it. That's it. Now, this is a new revelation for most people, that money's measuring value. But up until now, people were not told the relationship between money and value, so they just thought of money. And for some reason, the people who have a lot of money are not necessarily interested in a lot of other people who have less money. And so they put out a program called Money is the Root of All Evil. Now, when I think that money is the root of all evil, I'm going to see money and I'm like, no, that's evil. No, money's dirty. And it was just a programming went viral. Okay, it went viral for several hundred years, and it's still around today. And with this, in this activation protocol, we look at money properly. It's just value. there's no limit to the amount of abundance of value that can come out. So there's no limit to money that I or any human being can produce. However, the pattern that people are calling money is the root of all evil is an error. In my point of view, it's the lack of money that's the root of all evil. I've noticed that wherever any community where there's not a lot of money around, there's a lot of crime and evil going on. People are trying to get money because it doesn't exist. But if you move to a higher neighborhood where the average per capita income is higher, people leave their car doors open. There's very low crime rates. It's like, wow, the more abundant money is the less evil I perceive. Now, there are people with a lot of money who do evil and with their money, and thus but I think they're a minority. I think the majority, especially of the We Empower community, if I gave Bettina $1 billion, she would do $1 billion worth of good or more. So the more money she has, the more good she can do. So I would just like anyone who has that money is the root of all evil thing, I'd like you to kill it right away. It's over. It was so yesterday. The new thing is value. I'm a value producer, and money is measuring the value that I produce. So if I look in your bank account and it's very low, it means that either the value isn't coming out or I'm not asking for the value, the money that represents the value I'm producing. It's got nothing to do with evil and curses or any of those things. I hope that clears it up.
Oh, definitely. And so let's bring this to a close here. You have a website that folks can tap into you called greatnessactivation.com. And then you put in /empower, and you will get lined up with any of the opportunities to connect with this greatness activation methodology. Thank you so much. What are your parting thoughts here for us today, Nigel?
This is what I say is, I'm grateful for 2021, 2022, but the main thing is that whoever made us, God, created us to put out value in the world. And our contribution, our voice, our product, our services was for enhancing actually activating the value in others. So my recommendation is use your voice. It's the number one value distributing thing on the human body. In fact, my favorite phrase is, my voice is my moneymaker. In other words, when we speak and share like we're doing on this program, value is going out into the world, and it could be touching a lot of people's lives. And that when the value touches someone's life, they activate and they start putting out the value, and it just increases. So go forth and spread your light, speak your voice, and put the value out and measure the money.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us here again today. You'll be back next week, and that'll be our final show for the year. If you've been watching and enjoying this conversation with Master Nigel Henry and the activation process, come on back next week. So the next show coming up after us is Sports Untold at 2 p.m., hosted by Paul Schneiderman. And thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. Please leave a comment if you can. I read all of that, and those feedback is really essential to us getting better as we grow. Join us each and every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As always, Master Nigel Henry, it was wonderful to have you here again. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.